Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Today I decided to build a depot for LTN since we're starting to use more and more trains now. Before I start making too many stations in the old-fashioned way, I thought it would be a good idea to get a depot built so that we can start using LTN for the rest of the stations that we're going to continue building. And I thought I would build it here in this grid cell. We've got a copper mine here. We've got Mennerite and what's the other one? Immersite. But aside from that, there's not much in here. So I've made landfill and filled in all this water that used to be here. And we can use the rest of the space in there for making a depot. Speaking of landfill, I set this little thing up here since I do have a lot of stone available. And I set this up in such a way so that when I need stone on the belts going into the base, those are going to get prioritized. And the rest of the time, I'll just be filling up these chests, these big chests with landfill so that I always have lots of landfill available. Because as you know, when you need to fill in, a big body of water, you can go through many thousands of landfill very quickly. So it's always good to have a big supply on hand and just continue producing that throughout the game. All right, so let's head down there and get started. I've crafted some LTN stations, LTN stops. I've got 20 of those. And we will go down here. And I'm going to need some constant combinators as well. Okay. So the first question is, where do I want the entrance and where do I want the exit? Well, first let's just get in the middle here. The middle is defined by these power poles. Right, so that's the middle that way. And then the middle this way. Is that right? Yeah. All right, so that's precisely the middle of this grid section. So I'll try to build it somewhere around there so that it's reasonably symmetrical. That means we're going to have to start getting rid of all this stuff. And I haven't been making grenades. I should really be making grenades to help clear trees. It'll be a lot quicker than using bots, and then I won't end up with a bunch of wood that I don't need. Okay, and the depot is also going to be where we add fuel to the trains. Because with LTN, all the trains come back to the depot after their delivery has been finished. So it makes it a convenient place to refuel. So we'll have a station here where we bring in fuel and use that to feed the trains. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, we'll space them like that. No, actually, let's keep that there for now. Okay, so if I put my stop right there, that's 1, that's 2. Okay, so these are for 1-4 trains. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay. Okay, and then we need, well, I'm going to need some wire too. Let me start crafting. I'll just craft some red wire. Okay, and then we'll have a constant combinator. Actually, I'll only need one for the entire depot, but we need a constant combinator with a signal that says is depot. Stop is depot, right? And then we connect that. Do I connect it to the lights? I haven't used this in a while. Maybe I connect it there. And we'll change the name to, we'll call it Depot 1. So I'll probably have more than one depot at some point. Do I need to use green wire? There we go. No, that's not right. I don't think this is working. I think it's supposed to turn blue. 1 second. I'm going to have to look up the... I'm going to have to look up the instructions. If you go to the Factorio forums, there's a post there that explains how to use it. And again, sorry, but I've kind of forgotten how to do it. All right. Oh, okay. No, green is 1. Green is normal. It turns blue when there's a train there. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll hook the combinator up once we get the rest of it built. Okay. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 5 on each side. And we'll probably have room to make it larger as well. I should have told it to duplicate the stop names. Oh well, that's easy enough to fix. Okay. Yeah, so now they're turning pink because the mod doesn't like the stop names to be the same unless they're a depot, but I haven't identified them as a depot yet, so that's why they are like that. So what I can do is I'll just put this one here. We'll say stop is depot. And I think it'll work with red or green. Yeah. Right, and we can connect all of these. Whoops. Nope. Sometimes it's tricky to select exactly the right entity there. Okay, so these are all properly identified as depots. So I think what we can do then is this. And I'll put a chain signal here. That'll tell the train to, whoops, I need more rails. That'll tell the train to recalculate its path once it gets close to all the stations so that it'll choose an empty one. All right, grab some more rails. Do I have lights? Yeah. Perfect. And then I'll just copy that section. Okay. So that's the input. And then on the output, I'm gonna, I think what we'll do is we'll exit. I think we can make this even better actually. Maybe I can have an input from two sides, and I can have the exit on two sides as well, just to give more flexibility to the paths of the trains. All right, so a train could enter from here or from there. We could even have it enter from up there. So we could have entrances on three sides. Is it gonna work? Yeah, I think we gotta put that there. Okay, so that'll help prevent the trains having to go all the way around in circles, since it'll have three different ways to get in. All right, and then we'll put some chain signals there. Yeah. How does this look from the air? It's a little weird. Okay, and then on the exits, I'm going to put chain signals like that. Okay. I'll bring the train over here so that it can help clearing trees. Now in this case we're merging in, so we will need stack inserters, chain signals. Chain signals are kind of like stack inserters. Okay. All right. Great. And we'll have an exit up here as well. Okay. Well, that fits just about perfectly. And what about down here? That's going to get in the way of the copper mine. All right, so I won't do the third exit. We'll just have two. Like so. Okay. All right. Now let's put in a fuel stop. And I think I'll do that over here. Okay. Okay, and we'll make this an LTN stop as well. Okay, and so we'll call this Depot 1 Fuel. Okay, now for the fuel stop, I don't think I need those big warehouses. I think probably just like one chest. Or we'll do two. That should be enough just to provide fuel. There we go. Makes 8 stack inserters to load. Okay, and then I'm going to need a combinator to set up the LTN conditions. Okay. So I think I'm going to want to set number of trains to 1. Request stack threshold, request priority. That stack threshold I'm not familiar with. I'm going to have to do some research and see what that is. Train lengths and all that other stuff. Okay, I don't think I really need anything other than to limit the number of trains. And then to begin with, we're going to load it with fuel. Okay, so coal, we're going to load it with coal for fuel. All right, so coal stacks in 200s. So if we fill these, let's see, that's 2,000 for, let's say we do 2 rows. So 4,000 times 8, so 32,000. Will be the quantity that we wish to have. Okay, and then I am going to set the request threshold. Request stack threshold. So I guess that's like when you have so many stacks, less than a certain number of stacks, right? Let me see if it says in the manual. Missing amount of item stacks. Okay. Yeah, I like that. So in this case, 10, 20, 20 times 8 is what, 160 stacks? I really don't need that much. Let's make this a much smaller number. Let's just say 2,000. I mean, honestly, 2,000 pieces of coal should be more than enough. That's how much we're going to ask for. Or that's the target quantity, and then the request threshold we'll set to 1,000. Actually, I think that needs to be a positive number. Well, actually, the default is 1,000. It's 1,000 by default, so I don't actually need to specify that. So it'll load in 2,000, and then when it gets down to 1,000, it'll request another delivery. Okay. And then we'll put our outputs like that. Okay. Okay. And it's pretty simple. Okay. So now we got a depot, and we've got it set up for fuel. we just need to provide it with fuel. Unfortunately, my train with coal in it is rather full. So I'm gonna have to try to get some of that coal out, and then we'll use that train as our first LTN train. And then we'll set up that coal station as a provider. I did forget to hook up the chests. I have to wire those in too. Otherwise it'll never know how much it's got there. All right. Stop. All right, good. Let me dump all my junk. No, don't do that. There we go. That's weird. I wonder why it's leaving that 3 in there. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send this to depot. With inactivity. I think you can give it any condition. You just tell it to go automatically to the depot, and then it should go there and wait for instructions. I should get a blue signal. Why don't I get a blue signal? Yeah, the lamp should turn blue when an LTN controlled train is parked at the stop. Okay, I guess the inactivity gets added automatically. But I'm expecting this light to turn blue, but it's not, and I'm not sure why. All right, well, let's try it. Okay, so let's try to set this up as a provider station. Okay, so we're gonna wire all these chests in so that we can feed it the appropriate inventory level. I'll set the train limit to 1. Because I only want one train coming at a time. I'll leave the thresholds at default. And I think that's really all that I need to do. Okay. So now I've got a requester. My requester is not connected. Okay, let's go back over and finish setting up the requester. And then hopefully it'll work. But I feel like I might have something misconfigured. All right, so first of all, I have to connect all these chests so that the stop can read how much I actually have in there. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to pick up 2,000 coal. Okay, I'm gonna need to wire some logic into those inserters so that they only load what I'm asking for and don't just fill the car up. Okay, now we got a blue signal. Then these will unload. Slowly. Okay, let's go back over to the coal station and put in some logic there. Okay, and we're gonna change the name from Justin Ramos. Even though I'm sure Justin is a really cool guy. I don't know him personally. So I'm not gonna name my train stations after him. Okay, let's see. So what I want to do, yeah, I'm going to want a circuit that compares how much is in the train versus how much is being requested. Okay, so I can get the request quantity from here. And then I can get the read train contents from there. And it's giving me an error. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to hook those up directly. All right, what if I do this? No, it doesn't like that either. What if I hook them both into a combinator? It doesn't like that. Okay, let's try two different colors. Red there, and let's try a green wire here. Okay. All right, and we'll say, well, except I want to add those two values. Well, they should add together anyway. Right, so we'll say if coal is, let's see, the demand, yeah, if it's greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to output, I don't know, let's just say a green signal. Okay, and then we'll tell these to turn on when green is greater than 0. Which it is. Why is the output signal? Oh, it's got to be greater than 0. Okay, yeah, because if it's equal to 0, then no signal. No signal is equal to 0. All right, so then I'll just copy this, and I include that last inserter there just so it bridges to the next row. Yeah. Okay, so now it should only load what's being requested. Let's go back and see if that is indeed what happens. Okay, so our train is back at the depot. I guess we don't get the blue signal at the depot. That's fine. Okay, so I want to trigger another delivery. So let's just set this to, we'll change this to 4,000. Okay, so now we're getting another delivery. The target is to get 1165 in the train. So hopefully it'll stop loading once it gets to around 1165. And it's not stopping. Oh, I know what I need to do. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in a lot of fuel before we get this figured out. I did the logic wrong. I'm going to need an arithmetic combinator because I need to make one of those values negative. I need to make the train contents negative. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so that's going to tell me the train contents. And I'm going to multiply each by -1 and output each. So that's just a generic thing that means invert the signal. Give me a negative number. And then we can add the expected value to that. And then we can set these to run if any signal is greater than 0. So if it gets any signal, that means that the demand, what should be placed into the train, is greater than what is actually in the train. And that'll give us a positive number. And it'll stay positive until that's no longer true. Okay, so let's go try this again. And I think it's going to work this time. Let's make sure that our train is emptying completely. It is. I don't have any trash pickup here. Make sure I still got room in these chests. Yeah, I do. Okay, we're going to make this 6,000. Okay. Not sure why it took a while to respond. Okay, let's do it, guys. Let's work this time. Okay, it's going to want to load 5,154. And then it should stop. Ah, cripes. Still not working. And that's because I've got other signals coming out of there too. I'm going to end up with a warehouse full of coal over there by the time I get this working. Okay, so this is getting the coal. I'm getting the coal signal out of here as well as those train specific signals. So I'm going to have to change this to coal greater than 0. Okay, last time. I think it's going to work now. Okay, so now I've got got 7,000 coal here. All right, so let's make it 10,000. I don't know if it just takes. Does it just take a minute before it goes through and does everything? Stops checked per tick, 2. See, it's well over the threshold. I think these are not wired correctly. I think I don't have these chests wired up properly. Okay. 1904. Yes. All right. Success. Okay. I know why I'm not reading this right. Yeah. Minus 10,000. Yeah, because I have more than 10,000. That's why I wasn't triggering a delivery. Because what I'm reading here is I'm reading the sum of what I have here plus the minus 10,000. So when I see 5,000 here, that means that I actually have 5,000 more than what the value is. Okay, but we did get it working, so that's the good news. And we'll get all that coal in there so it gets emptied out when I go back home. Okay, so that's up and running. So what I'll work on next is converting the rest of these stations to LTN stations. And I'll do that on camera so that we can all see that going down. And then we'll go from there. So thanks a lot for watching. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.